Whoa. I think I just figured something out, Beavis.
What?
This sucks.
Yeah, it really sucks.
This sucks more than anything that has ever sucked before.
All right, sweet. All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome to episode 12 of Puck Rock Rangers. It feels like it's been an eternity.
It's been a while.
The last time we recorded was
during the Edmonton game on November 23rd, before Thanksgiving.
And that was the same
week
day.
Before Thanksgiving.
The same day that the Rangers got their turds pushed in by, was it Buffalo?
No, that was before. The last episode was we live streamed during the first period of the Edmonton game,
where we also got our turds pushed in.
Yes, that was the second time we've live streamed during a bad loss. We're at it again today. It is Thursday, the 2nd of January. New York is at home playing Boston Bruins, and they actually had a good first period. This is right after the first period. For those of you joining us, we are on Instagram Live. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. The full video will be up later this week. But yeah, first period just wrapped up in New York.
Dude, it feels like we're witnessing history right now.
We're witnessing a lot of history.
The New York Rangers have made it to a second period up 2-0, and I feel like that's something we haven't been able to say.
I almost can't believe it.
Like, yeah, it's like what new year, new team?
Well, the trend has been, as soon as the stream ends for us, that the wheels fall off. So that could still happen, but the boys have looked pretty good. Just a quick update on the game. Igor is out. Igor Shesterkin, Rangers goalie. There's only two injuries in hockey, upper body and lower body. So he's got the upper body variety. No update beyond that of what exactly is going on. So Quickie's in net, and he's looked pretty good.
Yeah. So Berard's on the board, and Mika Zibanejad is on the board. Mika Zibanejad got a 5-on-5, a 5v5 goal, which is
that dude needed a goal for sure. Big time. And Brett Berard, the water bug young rookie, so he's looked really good.
He's looked good. Smith looked pretty decent this game so far. It's bad when we're talking about certain players looking decent in a game. So
yeah,
it's been a rough go. But before we get into hockey, let's talk about some of what we've been doing.
Yeah, let's get caught up. Do you want me to start, or you want to go in?
Yeah, I'm down.
All right, I'll start. Not a whole lot. Christmas and New Year's has passed for those everyone who celebrates whatever you celebrate. Merry, happy, whatever. My wife and I went on a short trip for Christmas, an even shorter trip for New Year's. Stayed the night, New Year's Eve, in a yurt, froze our asses off together, and then went on a couple hikes the next day. New Year's Day, then got back, practiced with Coded, trying to get ready for a show. Supposedly gonna get together with Hard Facts soon, so hit the ground running. Just been busy, and I'm actually happy. I'm not a Scrooge, but I'm just happy the season's over. Let's get it out the way and move on. So, what about you?
Yeah, so in the last couple episodes, we were talking about the moving and stuff. We finally got that taken care of. We're all moved in. We're pretty settled in. We're nice and cozy. And I've actually been able to kind of kick my feet up a few nights, so that's been really nice.
Definitely.
Christmas came. It was really I was stressing over Christmas. It was our first Christmas where our daughter was gonna really depend on Santa coming, and Santa delivered for us. And she woke up and woke us all up. It was a really good, a really fun holiday for us. And then New Year's, we did absolutely nothing. We sat on the living room. We hooked up the TV and we watched what did we watch? Not me and Palmer, but me and my family. We watched Caught on Tape. We watched just random things that got caught on tape until about 5 minutes before the ball dropped. Then we cut it over. Watched the ball drop in Manhattan, and then shortly after called it a night, went to bed. So we had a really good break, and I can't lie, I'm really ready to get back to work. It's like these holidays, it's like you're not working as much and you're draining your wallets doing things, and I feel like I'm just ready to get back to work. So life's good, everything's pretty good, and that's what's been going on with me. So
Yeah, nice. I worked a little bit through it, but yeah, I definitely had some time off. The wife and I love to get away, even if it's just for a day. And sometimes that's what it's all about. So, and then saw some family in between. Still got to get caught up on some of that. So, but yeah, it's been good, man. So last week, or not last week, 2 weeks ago, last episode, we did not really a Rangers or a hockey episode. We did a music episode. Just wanted to get that right off the rip. Huge thanks to FitCheck. Huge thanks to Cicada, Nate. Nate really helped us out on the ones and twos and on the production side of things. And FitCheck was a great interview, an even better set. I actually got to hear the set before and after. So big ups to them for coming through and doing that. And that was a fun ass episode. If you haven't checked it out, the full videos are on the YouTube on our channel. The live streams are on the Instagram, so no excuses.
yeah, you want to go and check it out because it was music that was unreleased. It was a little sneak peek of some of the projects they got going on. Some of the things they're going to be releasing probably in the near future here. So it was really cool to get to experience that.
Nothing planned for this episode. Sorry, I didn't mean to step on you.
No, you're good.
But we will have some musical guests lined up in the future episodes. Going to be doing some cool stuff. Want to do more live sets and shit like that. So again, big ups to them for doing it. A lot of fun, and I hope you check those videos out. But let's get into some Rangers hockey.
Before we get into actual Rangers hockey, can we talk about Gabe Perreault? Have you been watching the IIHF, the World Juniors at all, or keeping up with it at all?
I keep up. I mean, I've seen the highlights on Twitter and Instagram. I've seen some stuff, but you could probably tell me more.
I was watching, I think it was Big Apple Hockey. Shout out Big Apple Hockey. We were watching that podcast. I was watching that podcast yesterday, and they said that good news. Gabe, they said we should just basically dive for the first round pick. Get Gabe Perreault out there with what's that other guy's name? Hagens. Get Perreault and Hagens out there and have them together on the Rangers for the next 10-15 years. And the other guy ripped him. He said, yeah, great, they'll be on the fourth line together. So I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, they won't get ice time, they won't get power play time, and we'll ship them out in a couple of years.
Yeah, and shout out to BSU, Blue Shirt Underground, because they also were talking about Gabe Perreault and how he's gonna require 16 years no move clause. So that had me kind of laughing a little bit too. But yeah, Gabe Perreault's lighted up down there. He's got 7 points in the tournament so far. A lot of chemistry with Hagens and Leonard. They'll be a lot of fun to watch in the coming up years. So hopefully the Rangers can develop him and not mess it up like they do with a lot of the other young talent.
Speaking of, I see a comment from our boy Tommy. Happy New Year's, fellas.
Yeah, what's up, Tommy?
How about Team USA?
Yeah, Team USA killing it. They're gonna get the gold medal this year, I think.
And I've seen some clips of this kid on Team USA that's kind of hyping up, chirping the crowd and kind of wiping his eyes and doing some shit. So I've been following it a little, not as close as Stefan clearly, but yeah, it's good to see. And the more we do this, the more we get connected to things. I'm sure I'll start paying more attention to not just the NHL and the Rangers, but the youth.
I was laughing with somebody because one of the teams is like, oh my god, what is it? Uzbekistan or no? What is it?
It's Kazakhstan.
Kazakhstan, and I forget who it was, but I was tattooing someone, and they're like, "That's where Borat's from."
I was gonna say, shout out.
I was like, that is so good. Like, the Kazakhstan, all these Borats out there, very nice. So. Yeah, I'm rooting for Kazakhstan. Let's go. You wanna change our moods and talk about what's been going on with the Rangers now?
Yeah, so we alluded to it earlier. Last time Stefan and I got together on an episode was during the Edmonton game. At that point, the Rangers had started hot, had kind of started to slow down, and there was concern. Since then, that concern has free-falled into just outright shit. Sorry, I don't have a better adjective. I don't have a better word. It's awful. It's
Duke.
They're I did the math. They're 4-14, 4-14-0. That O is important here.
That's important
because for the non-hardcore hockey fans, in hockey it's called the loser point. You still get a point if you make it to overtime. The Rangers have made it to overtime once this season, and it was in Game 2,
and they lost.
So they have no loser points, and that honestly could be a make or break. When you're trying to, catch up. They're last in the Metro. No one predicted that. The biggest Ranger hater, Paul Bissonnette himself. There's no way he predicted this, and it's just been bad. And there's been so many layers to it. I'm sure you're ready to go in. It's not one thing. It's so many things.
It's everything.
And it's almost like in one game they'll clean up maybe the defense a little, and then the offense doesn't score. Then the other game, it's just been bad. And then guys come back from injury, talking all this shit about, they want to have energy and they want to inject energy, and they're bad. And it's just been a joke, man.
Yeah, I like to refer to a hockey team as a four-legged stool, and we're going to break this down a little bit. The four-legged stool, every team is composed of four legs. Usually, if one of those legs is missing and you put any pressure on it and you sit on it, it's just going to come tumbling over. And the legs are offense, defense, goaltending, and special teams. And right now, we're basically just an ass plate sitting on the ground. Well, let's go through it. Like let's go over the offense, then we'll go over the defense, then goaltending, and then special teams, because they're all related. And I think each one kind of feeds the other one with energy or lack of energy. So offensively, it's been
offensive.
Yeah, I've been offended.
We're triggered.
Yeah, offensively, there's nothing going on. I mean, since we entered the slump 6 weeks ago, we are dead last in the league for goals for and for goals against. 32nd place. And that is repulsive. We are not generating chances at all. The boys look like they just don't have any chemistry. And we're also going to go into coaching and management, but we'll do that after the four-legged stool. Offensively, it's just not happening for them.
The numbers just aren't there. I was getting ready, and I'm going to bring up Hedl first. Hedl had a big game against Florida. It's unfortunate that a bad start, again, doomed the Rangers, because they actually fought pretty hard in that game. That was the most effort, frankly, I've seen since opening night against Pittsburgh. There's been games where you question the effort, and this was never an effort, a question the effort team. This was a team last year and years before. I mean, it's not like they were a one-year wonder. Like, there were signs before, like progression. I know they lost in that round in 22-23 against the Devils, or in 2 years ago. But this was a playoff contender. This was a Stanley Cup contender, and the wheels have completely fallen off. Offensively, the numbers aren't there. I was looking at the stats. Panarin's in first on the team with 16 goals. That's not awful, but that's not good. That's not great. Trocheck's been fighting it a little bit. I mean, we've talked about Mika
Ward Voldemort.
We were talking a month and a half ago at this point about how Mika's been bad, and I know he scored tonight, and I appreciate that, and hopefully that turns him around. But I mean, he has been bad's not the word. I mean, we don't only need
atrocious.
Like, obviously, we need him to be great or good. Shit, right now, I would take not bad from Mika. If he can just not hurt the team. Same thing with Miller. We'll get into him. But Cooley's scoring, but he's slowed down a little bit. But Cooley's a third liner. You can't rely on guys like that game in, game out. Kreider has been kind of spacey. It's just dog shit, really.
Yeah, I just want to say, it's like there is certain players on this team who look like they're trying to generate the offense. You got like Berard, Hedl, and even Panarin at times looked like he's really just trying to put the team on his back and carry them through to get a couple goals. But when this team is just so off like they are, the guys who have been, showing up a little bit, there's only but so much they can actually do by themselves. And the players who are, supposed to be getting all these big points, they're just not able to do that because the team as a whole is just pretty much dragging each other down. So it's just been a terrible cycle going on. Who knows if they're gonna break it? I basically lost all my playoff hopes. But that's basically in a nutshell what I'm seeing offensively from this team. And defensively, this team is even worse than they are offensively. Like, this team has serious problems with the blue line. And I'll let Palmer tell you, exactly who he thinks the number one public enemy is, and who do you think that is?
Right now, it's got to be Keandre Miller.
Yep.
That guy is a fucking traffic cone, and that is an insult to the color orange. I mean, he is so bad right now. And I'm not the type of fan, and Stefan, neither of us are the type of fans to shit on these guys. These are our guys. These are our heroes, man.
Yeah.
Our warriors, to an extent. I mean, they're hockey players, but it's just been so bad. And Keandre is leading the charge. And I alluded to it earlier in the episode. He was the one that I was talking about. He missed a couple games of the upper body injury. I can only assume it was him getting his head removed from his ass. And then he comes back into the lineup after that surgery. And he's talking about, I want to bring energy to the lineup. How can you say that when you sound like you're on a morphine drip? And then you come into the game and you're -3. And then we pull the goalie in the best game we've played all season with a chance to tie it up. And he just does this backhand, no look, dog shit pass to Barkov. And it goes in the net. And I mean, and before that, he was a complete turnstile. I know he's from New York, where they got those revolving doors, those I don't know what they call them, spin around doors. That's what he is, man. I said it during the first period. There is not a player that does not get their shot off when coming down on Miller. You're gonna get your shot off, and you're gonna. I mean, we thought Trouba was dragging him down, and actually now that. And that's a whole nother bag of worms. And now he's gone, so we don't even need to bring him up anymore. But Miller's been terrible. Fox has been pretty good, but not dynamic. Lindgren, I even have it in my notes here. Lindgren has been marginally better. Got a pretty nice goal the other night against Florida. But he's been bad too. And I've never seen a dude get out-muscled off a puck like Miller. When you see him, everyone against him looks like fucking Jaromir Jagr. It's insane. And then Snyder's been okay, but he's on the third pairing, not getting time. Will Boring. I mean, what's my note? Oh, I said he's like a Jacob Trouba Jr. And I know, like blast from the point that go nowhere, missed by about 8 to 10 feet. I was looking up his highlights. The guy's a physical guy, big hits, big fights. I hadn't seen any of that. Nope. Maybe a little clothesline against one of the Devils, the other night when we were already down 4-0. And I know I'm going to mispronounce his name.
Urine. Urinal.
That's pretty funny. I had a nickname for him too, Euro Vakanainen. You can call me an anti-vax. Anti-Vakanainen.
Anti-Vacaniner.
I'm an anti-Vacaniner. I don't want him on the team, dude. What do you think about this defense, man? I mean, we both played defense. We were at one point a D pairing. What do you think about this shit show? What's up? Real quick, what's up, Michael? I see you, Slaughter.
Yo, what up? Yeah, so this defense is it's below mid. It's pretty bad. You got
mid would be nice for a change.
Well, got most of the guys are mid. You got like Vakanainen. He's pretty mid. You got
Vakanainen and Borgen are about as mid as it gets.
He's pretty mid. Then you got Adam Fox, and he is stuck out there with whoever's gonna drag him down a little bit. Like Adam Fox is an absolute all-star, but when you're playing with a pairing, when you're paired up with somebody who's just not making it happen for you, you can only do but so much yourself. So that's like the same deal with the offense. These guys don't have anyone to play with. That's how it is with Fox right now. Then we got Jones, who keeps getting waived. And I thought of course he's made some mistakes, but big picture, Jones has looked like one of the better defensemen that we've had out there playing. Like he's a good puck mover. He has no problem getting out of the zone. And that's something that we've been struggling with. What I'm noticing that's killing me with this team's defense is that other teams are probably just watching 5-minute reel of what's going on with this team's defense. And they know that if they can just get it past our goal line, they can get it behind the net, our defense will have no answer. They will start scrambling. They will start puck chasing, puck watching. They have no answer for anything because they cannot win the board battles. So you get a guy out there trying to battle it. 9 times out of 10, we're losing the board battle, and then other teams know exactly what to do. They've studied us, and they've exposed us, and they are capitalizing on it every single time. So our defense, another thing, the lack of defense is in my opinion, what's leading to the lack of offense. Like usually, when your defense is doing their damn job, they can get it up to the forwards who can then start rushes, make plays and shit happen. But that's not happening with this team's defense. They're just non-existent. They're terrible. It's terrible.
A good defense will open up the offense because
Yeah.
the offense feels like they can take chances because the defense is going to have their back. That's not happening. And a good offense will bail out a defense. The defense feels like, well, we can take some chances if the offense will bail us out. None of that's happening, man.
And
We got both are just like closing in on each other and almost like smothering each other. And then you have special
goaltending.
teams.
Let's talk about goaltending because I think that's more relevant.
Okay.
A good goaltending will bail out bad defense, but bad defense and non-existent defense are two totally different things.
I heard a stat earlier, and I don't know the numbers behind it, but they were saying that Igor this season has faced more shots than any other goalie,
Mm-hmm.
and I believe it because I mean there was a solid stretch there where the Rangers were giving up 40 shots a game,
Yeah,
and
easy.
Igor hasn't looked good, but you can put Prime Hasek, Patrick Waugh, whoever in there. They need people playing,
We're
man.
going on the power play.
Well, it's gonna be 4-on-4 because Miller's in the box.
Oh yeah,
We're second period started.
15 minutes left. 16 minutes left.
16
pretty
minutes
much.
left. About to go 4-on-4.
Oh,
But-
high stick, windy.
And I don't have much to say about the goalies. The goalies have been pretty good. Or they have been pretty good, but they've been better than you can expect for the way the offense and defense. It brings me back to Hank. Hank wore a lot of the losses, but as an outsider just watching, I wish you could tell him it's like, well, you can't score. You need watched a lot of that old school Hank team lose games 2-1, 3-1 because they just couldn't score. This team, months ago when the season started, we all puffed out our chest and was like, this Hank never had a team like this and never had goal scorers like this, and we're reverting right back to that where we're caving in our defense and goalies.
Look who's on power play 1 again.
Well, this is
Just
4-on-4.
took the face off. Oh yeah, so it's not a power play. I'm tripping.
But
Right.
And then special teams, it's almost like something with the Rangers that they can hold on to is good until it's not, and that was the power play or the penalty kill. The penalty kill was good until it gave up 3 straight against the Devils. That game,
That was
by
terrible.
far,
Well,
by
it was
far.
2 power play goals, 2 shorthanded goals against.
That the game against the Devils was like my breaking point for the season,
Mm.
where I'm almost like now I don't want them to turn it around. I want them to blow it up.
Yeah, they embarrassed
Because
us.
if they turn it around, it starts to get like, well, maybe we can make a push and maybe we can bring in a Riley Smith and no. I'm done, man. Blow this team up. And maybe I'm a nostalgic idiot and feel free to roast me in the comments. I've been watching this team a long time. I don't want to see Kreider go, but I'm interested in what offers could come. And I'll say this, my nostalgia or my favoritism or whatever you want to call it of most of the guys on this team has evaporated this year. I want a new set of people. I want guys that are grinders. I mean, I'm done, dude. I mean, obviously, I'm always a Rangers fan, and I'm, if they turn it around, I'll be glad to eat my words. But I don't see it happening, man. They need to blow this shit up.
Yeah, there's about 3 players on this team who I would be upset if they were no longer Rangers. That's Will Cooley. I like Will Cooley, and even for the right return, like he can go. But I do love Will Cooley, and I like him a lot.
And
Adam Fox. Do not move Adam Fox. He's maybe having a little bit of a soft year.
You
but
need to get Adam Fox an actual legit partner and someone with some size. Adam Fox is not a big guy. He's a puck mover. He's not Chris Pronger.
Yeah.
He's not Alex Petrangelo. He's not this big tree of a defenseman. He's a dynamic puck mover. Maybe he needs someone with some size and snarl. Ooh, that was close.
God, that went right off the post. I think.
Was that off the crossbar?
I think so. Dang, that was close. I
Yeah,
thought
that
it went
was.
in. Sorry, it's hard to keep it's hard to maintain focus when your disappointing child is on TV. So
well, and this is rare air we're in here where the Rangers are playing with a lead. So that's been very
so
odd.
far so good, guys. Fingers crossed.
But
So
what else, man? We can sit here and dunk on this team forever. But what else is going on?
I mean, we talked about it. We talked about the goaltending, the offense, the defense, and the special teams. Let's talk about some of these coaching decisions, man. What do you think about the coaching decisions?
I've come on this podcast in defense of Laviolette, and I'm still in defense of Laviolette for the most part. But he has done some shit that has driven me crazy, and I think two things mainly spring to mind. He is way too quick to pull the goalie. I can't tell you how many times with the way this team's playing. Maybe last season, maybe if the team's going and playing well, but it'll be almost like 3 minutes left and we're down 1 goal. And then within 30, 40 seconds, the other
Quick
team
made
scores.
a huge save right there.
And then the game's fucking over.
Oh my god! Holy fuck! Look at him. That's the face of how the hell did he do that? All right, so I'll just break it down. If you're
watching,
sorry for our interruptions, but Jonathan Quick just made about 4 like top notch like Vezina type saves in a row within a spree of like 5 seconds. So that was absolutely insane to watch. Not like you could see it, but yeah, at least you got to see our reactions. Like it matters. So what were you saying? I'm sorry, man. I completely interrupted you. But what were you saying now?
What was I saying? No, I was talking about Laviolette. I don't like him. He pulls the goalie too early. I'm not a big fan of pulling the goalie. I mean, especially the way the team's playing. That's my main point. If the team's going or playing better, and then something else, the handling of Zach Jones. You know, maybe we're a little biased because we're in Richmond. Maybe we're a little biased because we sort of know some people that know some people.
I mean, let's call a spade a spade. He's looked good.
Play the fucking kid.
He's looked decently good.
He hasn't. So everyone, I was listening to Statboy Steven does like a live stream before pre and post game sometimes on Twitter, and there was a discourse going, and you know, some people want him in, some people don't. Look, he hasn't been great. But he hasn't been given enough of a leash, and at this point, I'm not even gonna beat the table about putting him in. Trade the guy and let him go somewhere else and play. At this point, I want to see him a Ranger. I want to see him play, but obviously Laviolette doesn't trust him. Laviolette will play anyone. At this point, I mean, the only way Zach Jones is gonna play is an injury, and it sucks. And he come out in the media, and I like what he said, and I hope they do. Honestly, like as much as I don't want to see him go. If they're not going to play him, fucking trade him. Let him go somewhere. And I hope he torches the Rangers when we play him next time.
It's almost like Peter Laviolette watches Mika basically watches like his highlight reels from the 22-23 season before every game, and he's like, oh yeah, every single game he'll watch that season of Mika, and he's like, oh well, I know who's in our lineup tonight.
Gets all hyped.
Like that's my biggest gripe with Laviolette right now is that he has been way too forgiving to Mika Zibanejad. Why has he not been scratched? Like, I get scratching Chris Kreider, but why wasn't it Mika? Like, Chris Kreider's been bad, but he hasn't been Mika bad. He may not have been producing, but he hasn't been like as much of a liability as Mika has. And Mika just for some reason keeps on getting like this pass, like I can just play as bad as I want and nothing's gonna happen to me, and I don't understand that. There's 20 other guys in the lineup that I can think of who shouldn't have been scratched over Mika.
The only thing I'll say about the Mika scratching, and I've been in favor of scratching Mika. Oh shit!
It was bound to happen sometime.
Yep, I didn't even see how it happened. But
sooner than later,
Boston just scored. Look, I think you do scratch Mika. You give him some time, man. We don't know what's going on, but this is like an unprecedented fall from grace. Like we're Rangers guys. We watch more Rangers than any other team, but I watch around the league, and I can never think of a guy that has just lost effectiveness. You see guys get older and maybe lose a step, lose their snarl. The guy's healthy. He's not fighting injuries. It's in his head. I don't know if it's mental health or whatever, and I don't mean to. I'm not going to trivialize mental health. I'm not going to go after him for any of that. But if there is something going on, you're hurting the team, and you need to figure it out. And it's just bad, man. It sucks because, like, we want these guys to win. I'm not a shock jock radio host. I don't want to come on here and shit on these guys. It's much better. I'm sitting here thinking me and Stefan started this show. Now the Rangers are nosediving. I wanted to come on here and talk about how great the season was going. So just unfortunate. Another point I'll make about Zach Jones real quick. I'm not going to harp on it, but it reminds me, I can think back to some of my work experience, some of the places I've worked where, maybe you were liked and you were a good soldier, as they put it, but you were never really going to get your chance. Or you could never really be seen anything beyond anything that you maybe were perceived as. And
I keep on thinking about how Chris Drury needs to throw the team a pizza party. Like, if they have an issue with him, like, how, like, when you work a job that you can't stand, and, like, you and all the employees can't stand it, usually the boss will be like, all right, it's a pizza party, and everyone just shuts up for a little bit, at least. Like, Chris Drury needs to throw this team a pizza party, and just to turn things around or something, because if their problem is with him, then he needs to do that, like, quickly, like, ASAP, so.
Well, and, where we're at with the season right now with Ranger hockey, honestly, is when the team plays bad, it puts Ranger fans into, I'm trying to think how to say this, but like the shittiest part of fandom, where it's like we go from a group of people that are talking our shit and like stoked about the games to now everyone's a GM. Now everyone's got all these trade propositions, trade everyone, fire everyone. And it just sucks, man. It sucks to be existing in that, because that's the conversation. You turn on any Rangers pod and there's nothing positive to talk about.
No.
Maybe little micro things within the game that happen that you could maybe, for a second go, oh, good play. But that's it, man. As a whole, it's been terrible.
Yeah, like being up 2-0 against the Bruins going into the second period. But right now, the deficit's been cut in half. It's 1-0. So something like that was good. Now it seems like the momentum shifted a little bit, but
I haven't been watching much.
I'm trying not to focus on the game too much while we're recording, but it's hard.
I think we're probably gonna wrap up here in a little bit. I had some more notes. Not gonna harp on Igor. I didn't.
Megor.
I just wanted to ask you, because a lot has happened since we got together. I mean, Trouba traded, Igor signed, Kako traded. And a lot of other shows have covered this, so we're not going to beat these topics to death. But I just quickly was curious. What do you think about the contract? Do you have any problems with it? We talked kind of hypothetically before it happened where we were at, so let's revisit it. What do you think?
I don't like it.
Now that it's happened. You don't like it?
I don't like it. I didn't like it before. I don't like it now. I'm not saying he's not capable of doing some out-of-this-world type things, because he absolutely is. But when is this team going to learn? Like, I get it. Like, this team builds its identity off of having strong goaltending. But why do we have to pay $4 million more than goaltenders that are just that same level of greatness? I don't like the deal. I think it might cause some implications going into the future. If the team's if we're about to tear it all down, burn it to the ground and rebuild, then a couple of those contract years are already pretty much useless. It's just a high check you got to write, knowing that you're not going to get the results. I just don't like it, man. I think they could have done something else. They should have let him walk, or be if you're not going to be a team-friendly type player, then, like, it's not like he's McDavid. Like, he's not a McDavid. He's not a game breaker that much. Goalies cannot do things like McDavid. Like, McDavid would put the whole team on his back sometimes and turn a game around. Where Igor, like, yeah, he might steal your game here or there, but he's just been too inconsistent for me to really, like, think that contract was a great deal. I don't know. I don't like it. That's all I got to say about it.
I don't have a huge problem with the contract. I'm not in love with it, but I'm not in the party that's beating the drum about how it's a bad deal and this and that. I think let's see how it ages. Let's see how it ages. Let's see how the cap goes up. Let's see what they do. The Rangers are in a good position, getting rid of Trouba, getting rid of Barclay Goodrow. Kako wasn't making a lot of money, but you freed up that money. Let's see what moves can be made. I'm gonna shout out to Mac on It's Always Sunny. I'm gonna play both sides, so I always come out on top. And I think my for argument, honestly, is that if you have a generational talent, if you have one of those kind of guys, whether it's a center, a defenseman, a goalie, when you have a guy that's on your team that's one of the best on your team and really could be a difference maker, I'm hesitant to let him go. I think that maybe becomes part of your identity. The flip side is I'm so ready for this Rangers team to change their identity that I don't want them to be. I watched the Henrik Lundqvist years. I was a kid for Mike Richter. I've heard about the glory, but that team was better than, the Lundqvist years. And I love those guys, Dan Girardi, Callahan, but they couldn't score and they just couldn't win the big games. So I'm ready for this Ranger team to kind of turn the page, and now it really won't happen with Igor locked up like he is for 8 years or whatever, unless some crazy shit goes down, which is not out of the realm of possibility. But that's where I'm at with it. Let's see how it ages. The cap is going to go up, barring a global shutdown like we went through, and I think they can still change their identity while Igor's on the team. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. I really am indifferent to it. I think you not had to do it, but I don't hate the fact that they did it, but I don't think they had to. I think there were options.
Yeah.
I'm trying to read it from here. We got a comment from Sully.
They've been letting me down so much this year. They haven't really been fun to watch. Last year was a blast. I don't think I missed a single game. And that was from Sully.
Agreed, Sully. And Sully grind, keep on grinding, keep on blasting. I feel the same way. The next game is in DC, and there's usually times where I'm like, maybe I'll run up, and I know some people that have some connections for tickets. I wouldn't go up there right now to watch them get their asses kicked by Tom Wilson and Ovechkin. So honestly, and they don't play well in DC. I've been up to DC twice for Ranger games, and they scored a total of 1 goal. So
the last one I went to, they scored 4. They won 4-1.
That is true. But yeah, I feel that, man. It
Not
hasn't
this
been
year,
fun.
though.
And I actually have it in my notes here, and Sully's comment makes me think this is a good time to transition into Stefan. Can you list 5 fun or exciting moments from this season? Can we list 5 between the two of us?
Yeah, every single game when my father-in-law is giving me crap about Igor, that's always fun.
But that's not the Rangers though. That's
okay.
That's your eccentric.
Yeah, I got one. At that clip that came out where Laviolette scored on Igor in the coaches coaches shootout.
Okay.
That was fun.
That was fun.
That was a fun time. Maybe I really enjoyed beating the Toronto Maple Leafs. I think that was in like week 2 of the season.
That was fun for me because my wife's a Leafs fan, so I got to win a little wager on that one.
Yeah, the Dallas Stars was cool beating them because they're supposed to be, a defensive behemoth, and we've been trash. So I took that with a smile on my face, and I got to come up with 2 more.
Yeah,
your 5 is a big number for this year.
Here, I'll try to help you out. You got 3. I'll come in with 2 more. Shout out Ben the Knee. Thanks for tuning in, guys.
What up?
I'm trying to think, man. I mean, they're really, and it's been probably early in the season, where you see anything exciting going on. I'm drawing a blank, dude, and I am legitimately drawing a blank.
I got a great one. The season opener against the
Penguins.
Beating the Penguins 6-0. I know your boy from Ben the Knee. Big Pens guy.
Yeah, and Slaughter. We got a couple Penguins fans to hang
so
around.
that was good. And okay, yeah. So if I'm gonna think of good times, it's all gonna be from like the beginning of the season, like beating Detroit 3 games. All 3 times we played them, we beat Detroit. Both times we played the Penguins, we beat them. Even though that we've been absolute dog crap, we still were able to beat some teams a little bit here and there.
All right, but see.
But
the point of this
recently,
exercise,
nothing.
The point of this exercise, and I'm not going to critique everything Stefan said here, but it was a couple games they won, and a coach scoring during a practice. These are his highlight moments of the season so far.
They called him the Bull.
And what gave me this idea? Shout out
Is it Peter the Bull?
Peter the Bull. Shout out John Chick on
So
Locked
good.
In or Locked On New York Rangers. He does, usually at the end of the year, like best moments and worst moments. I mean, I'm interested to see what he comes up with because I legitimately there's been really so little swagger, so little fun, so little to watch, man. It really has. There's been games that are either boring or just get you so pissed off that you just want to turn it off.
Yeah, Locked On, John Chick. He's been going through it. So
We all have.
I mean, we all have. But
Evan on Rangers Central's talking about not doing the fucking show anymore. I hope he's not. I hope that's hyperbole and he keeps doing it.
I just want to say, like, John Chick is like my spirit animal for being like level-headed when it comes to the Rangers. Like having like a nice level expectations for the Rangers, and like when they're playing crappy, somehow he breaks it down in a way that like, well, this just happens, but when John Chick is ragging on this team the way he is, this team has been beyond miserable. So this team just needs to. Oh my God,
man! Quick is keeping the
this
team.
Is what they've needed from Igor for a couple of these games, but
and this is like almost like a setup of a bad joke. But like the Rangers, have been struggling with the starts of the games. But what's even worse is the middles and ends.
Yeah, so all of it.
You know what I mean? I mean, every part of it. The second periods especially. They've played maybe 2 or 3 good second periods all season. And to follow, and it's just bad. The hardcore Ranger fans know what's going on. You know what you saw last year and the years before, and you know what you're seeing now, and it's or you see it, but you don't really know it. I sure as fuck don't. I don't know what the hell's going on. But the next game for the Rangers is actually coming up Saturday. They'll be in DC against the Capitals.
Oh my God.
I mean, let's just say it right now. Ovi's gonna score. And I'm not even going to make a prediction beyond that, but
Ovi scored 2 in the last game against us. 2.
Ovi always scores against the Rangers, so that's your lock of the day.
Hey, you want to come up with a couple, just something fun? Like, just something fun real quick.
I like fun.
When you think of Rangers Killers, who do you think of? Like, just give me like one. Like, who's the first player you think of when you hear Rangers Killer?
Probably Ovi.
You think Ovi?
Ovi had a record when Hank was playing. I think Ovi had the most goals against Henrik.
How about Braden Point? Braden Point is an absolute Rangers killer.
Another Rangers killer, and this is a low-key Ranger killer?
Who?
Dawson Mercer.
Yeah, he's
on the Devils. That little dickhead scores every time we play those guys.
And Devils fans, if you watch some of the Devils content,
they don't like him.
They're upset with Dawson Mercer. They do not like what he's been doing
trade him
so
over
far.
to us.
But every time he plays us, he seems like a stand-up guy. So
every time we play, and I mean, the obvious one here is Jack Hughes.
Big-time Devils or Rangers killer.
It's crazy to me. I'm watching the Rangers get toyed around by a 125-pound twink, Jack Hughes, and it's like, will someone please separate him from the puck? Will someone please take his fucking head off? But no, he just dummies us every single time, and. Between Valaket saying the Instagram hockey and the way the Devils I'm gonna look at the camera, absolutely dummied us, the Rangers. That was the most embarrassing game this season and probably last season. I don't remember anything that bad. 5-0, 5-0, and it wasn't even that close. What a joke!
No, it was terrible.
We got to wrap this up. I don't know how much else we got here. Do you have any other points or anything else to go over?
I mean, I could go on and on and on and on and on and on.
We could sit here and rant.
And on.
The second period is winding down, so we're gonna probably hang out and watch that. Appreciate everyone who is watching on Instagram and checking us out. Like I said, the whole video will be up the next couple days if you want to check that out too. Maybe we'll have some fun edits in there. And stick around for some music guests. I won't drop any names, but I'm working behind the scenes to get some things lined up.
Oh my God, they just showed that replay on the. Watch the save. Here's the replay.
I saw it. I saw that save in real time. Woo! With the paddle.
He swatted it away like this with his stick as it was coming from a hot one-timer. It says the goalie. He's like, Olmark had to go, or was it Swayman?
He was like, that was sick.
Is it Swayman or Olmark? I can't even remember.
That was Sway. Olmark's gone.
Olmark's with Sens.
Calgary.
Calgary or Sens?
Senators.
Dude, who cares? But yeah, you see him. He was like, "Dang, that was sweet."
But that's all I have, man. I'm having fun, but we're gonna wrap this up.
Yeah, like, follow, subscribe. You can
Please.
see us everywhere: Spotify, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, everywhere. So, do us a favor, help us out with the algorithm, do all that good stuff that you know that you should be doing anyway. So, I don't have anything else. Do you, man?
No, and just to follow up on Stefan, DM us any questions, any thoughts. We're always looking to interact with you guys. Appreciate everything so far, and that's all I have.
Yeah, if you want to hear your tag name read out loud on a podcast, submit a question or just say something funny. We don't care. We'll read it.
Yeah.
So, forever hold your peace.
That's it. Until next time.
All right, take care, guys.
Thank you.
Too many